Okay, so in top of page R'Dovid, we finished talking about why explained why because no, I was talking about Karbonis now already. The Karbonis says in Tanya by Marashayim, and Gabas Navshabamis. And that's why it just explained by, I'm sorry, the same concept of Karbonis. The Karbona is Boim al Ashegig, that's not the halacha, but the Mishnah only cites 4, it's amazing. The Master Karbon is Ashegig. Shegig is Gabas Nefshabam, is the Noiga. That's why we bring Karbonis to elevate the Noiga. The Shegig, I mean, a person doesn't have a Shegig, since the Shegig, that means that Nefshabam is in control. Because the Nefesh HaMishnah is in control of him, that he does unintentionally something wrong. When we mark the Karbonis, we elevate Noiga. Now in the middle of line 6 on the top of page R'Dovid, in the middle of Chatzi Eagle, it starts a new type topic. In the middle of Chatzi Eagle. To the Karbonis, we repair the nefila, the damage that was done to the sin. So the noiga, like I said, that's a sin inside the noiga, which is it's only b'shegeg. There's another point why we make a behema. Shaydei kavas a behema shemin noiga yezem shachna is the toya. In addition to the bill of the elevation, of Noiga, there's also another point that happens. It's Galos on Shachas Eos the Toy. What's meant us? Shabbeima Shashim Toyu Behema itself. It's the source, like we explained in this sefer. There's a lot of more we talk about the concept of Toyu, like the whole Amshel Shua talks about Toyu. And the key point is that the Eos the Toyu, which are higher than Tikkun, they fell to the Shveras HaKelim, they fell into very low madrigas, of the Behema Sheresh Toyu, and to the Avodah, to the Biru, we get Nimshachim as the Toyu. And V'yadua, Toyu Kodem Tikkun, because Toyu is above Tikkun, Toyu is higher than Tikkun. Memele nistakne dezer abgam shepogam Tikkun. So it tells us another way to understand what Karbonis does, because when a person does abgam achet b'shegeg, there's abgam. It creates a blemish in the world of Tikkun. Which is our system, our seder shtashlis. Now through Karbonis, you mamshich eres the Toyu. When you mamshich eres the Toyu, that fixes the Tikkun, because Toyu is above Tikkun. That's one point is making. Another addition, in addition to the actual korban, we burn, we makim the beima around the mizbeach.
I'm sorry, just a quick question. It doesn't explain why the korban is from the two, no, the korbanos. It doesn't explain why.
Yeah, it doesn't explain. It just says a statement that behemoths come from Toyu, and to the milas that the behemoth you mamsha the earth the Toyu, because the behemoth itself is it's in a state of noiga. When you burn the behemoth, when you take away the cover, the male it's megala the earth the Toyu. That's how he explains it here. That's what happens to Korban. The Akova and the Shemavara Behem Sheminayga Mishachim is the Toy. Because the Behema is Naiga, it's Klipper. But when you burning means you remove the that aspect of the behemoth which covers up, which conceals the ears the toyu. So megale the ears the toyu that are hidden within the behemoth. That's how he describes a korban here.
But what we say, the shorish of the behemoth is from the two, no?
Of course the shiur. The shiur is in toyu. So when you burn it, you mile the shosh. In other words, you remove you remove that part that covers up of the shayresh, the megala the shayresh, but is nim shachayos the toy. Yeah. That's like it's not marich in that part of the toyu part. It just gives us another way of understanding what happens. In other words, the first biur was just take the noiga and elevate it. So mainly it fixed the problem of the sin. So another way to look at it, he says that when you elevate the behemoth, you megale the shayresh of the behemoth. When mainly the shayresh is above tikkun, so that gives it the power to letaken, because like it says, like we said, when you reach the source of when you reach a higher level, it has the power to fix, not tikkun itself, because of the nefila of the ears in behemoth is broken. There's this gabas nafshabamis. When you elevate it, when you megale the ears the toyu, that fixes the problem. That's how he describes the inner korbanos here. Okay. Now he goes to another step. So this was something that happened to the korban. It's not only when the person was the korban, it's not only something happens to the behemoth outside of him. It's a famous statement, the Chazal, before you fix your environment, you have to fix yourself first. So the same thing in this case, before the korban is being taken care of, the behemoth, the Shabbat is itself. So Nefesh Hamis itself, in addition to bringing the korban, also has to do tshuva, which is kshet atzmach atchila. Va'abir alidei shema. What the biur that. So the inyan of tshuva is connected with the fact that the biur is to shema. Adam ki יקרב. So now he right away brings the pasuk to started the Maimon with Adam ki יקרב. The Adam ki יקרב. The inner korban is connected to Adam. The Adam gematria ma. Lochein, and the Chagav says another point. Lochein achobas hakorbanos tzarich dafka mishkan migdash chutz mishkan ein makrivin. This is also a reason why the korban are done dafka mishkan and you're not allowed to be making chutz mishkan. Why? Because mishkan uma. The madrig of mishkan is ma. Kamish koso bezoya al el pkudei mishkan doaz the chachmas. In Zoya, the pasuk el pkudei mishkan says doaz the chachmas. The pkudei mishkan, this is the madrig of chacham, which is the union of ma. So you just added another kvetch here, that there's tshuva and there's the gila shema. All this explains how we have the korbanos to korban, we elevate, we mevara the wall, the noiga.
So he's saying that the mishkan and has to do with the Adam, both are shema.
Yeah. No, it has to do with Adam. Both are shema. Adam is ma and mishkan is ma.
Therefore, what? I mean, so that
that's why the makriv is the Adam, and that's why that korban is in mishkan. That's all. The two details in the way a korban operates. That's the Adam ki yakriv, and it has to be mishkan daf. But because both of them get the chayes from Shema. For Inyanu, so now I'm going to explain the whole point more detail. That's based on it, but to explain another mimer. Actually, the mimer we learned in this sefer. We explained, there was one of my mom we learned that tshuva is dafka elamaz. When after a person leaves this world, after the neshama leaves this world, cannot do tshuva anymore. It's too late. Tshuva cannot be done by elamaz. It was explained, if you remember, the one of the Maimorim, I'm going to find it 1 second. It was, I'm not sure we have this here. Tshuva. Yes, in the Maimon, we learned that the Maimon of Pinchas, I can tell you where it was. 1 second. Yeah, in the Maimon of Pinchas, there was all the arichas there about Tzavos Bnei Sol Matalem, Maimon of Pinchas, page Kuf, where is it? In page Kuf Mem Tes, he said, "V'alken yesh be'lamaz dafka." Zeu din atshuva be'lamaz dafka. Be'lamaz is man a biur. The lamaz dafka. There was no biur here. Why tshuva is not lamaz? Because the in a beetle tshuva, the real tshuva is beetle. And beetle is only that beetle can be dafka and lamaz. That's in the Maimon from Pinchas. The Maimon we're learning now is the Maimon of what parsha is it? That's Vayikra. It's really earlier. So here is Maram is something later. In Pinchas he explained it more by Arichas, the Maimon of Pinchas. So that the concept of Tshuva Be'elamaz is in page Kuf Mem Tes. If you remember in the beginning, in page Kuf Mem Daled, it asks the question. Kuf
Mem Dalet?
Yeah, Kuf Mem Daled. In the Maimon, he says, Lovin Zetzach Lag Mitrel Sherchen Mashet Tshuva Dafka Elamazav Loy Lamav. That's the question he asks in Kuf Mem Daled, and Kuf Mem Tes he answers it. Well, Cain, there's other issues there. Well, Cain, Yesh, Elamazav Dafka Koy Habitul. I'm sorry, Zed Yinat Tshuva Elamazav Dafka. So in that Maimon, he explained how the concept of Tshuva is only Elamazav. Now in our Maimon, he talks about it Bekitza. He just says, Bekitza, what's the reason? Elamazav dafka our world, our physical world is the Gila for Sev. The Elamazav Sev. The Elamazav in the Christmas Malcolm. Shenkem Elamazav may Prina Sev Kalam. Elamazav is may Sev Kalam because Elamazav is the like it's explained in Chassidus that Isavas Agashmi is dafka me from a saver. The koyach to create something new, something independent, comes from the Rig of saver. So in our world, in Olam Hazeh, it was created from saver, Meila saver. Meila Vosham, and this my mom they talk about this concept that Olam Hazeh Meila saver. That's why Tshuva is Olam Hazeh. Explain a little. Saver Kalam Shema. So that's the same concept we just said. That the korban is dafka so saver that's Shema. And the Shema makif leban. So the Shema of Ma and Ban are I don't know. Okay, the Shema upon him is the remez of saver. It says in Kabbalah Ma makif leban. So Ban Shem Ban is sometimes Ma and Ban usually it's like Zo and Malchus. So Ma is a saver, and Malchus, Ban is Malchus, which is the Mamal. Agam, okay, but this is not exactly. Agam Shema Pnimis Malchus. Ma is like a Pnimis Malchus, but still, it's still Sever. Why? We know that Ma is Chachma. The word Chachma is made of the words Kayach Ma, is the power of Shema. V'Chachma She'er in Sof She'er HaSever. We know the tiny Perek Lamed the Hagot, they explain Shemati Mimeri, that Chachma is She'er Dafka, that Eir in Sof is She'er Dafka b'Chachma. We say Eir in Sof means Eir in Sof HaSever. כידוע שאין סוף הסבב אין מסתלבט לפנים שום מדרגה הפנס החוכמה, that's the Tanya, that Tanya Perek Lamed Hey, that the giler of the Sof is dafka in מדרגה of חוכמה, ובחוכמה מאיר בעצם כמו שהוא, in the סבב, לכן בשם מה יש מקיף מפנימיים, צריך לשם מה is two parts, the מקיף מפנימיים, the מה בעצם פנימיים, מצד אין סוף הסבב, מלובש בפנס מקיף, מה בעצם מסתכל פנימי. Because relative to the Madrigas above it, Ma is like a pnimi. It's more pnimius. But Yachas, so he just told us two things in Shem Ma, but Snagget to us is the Eresev, it's Mehema. Zarin in the Mishkan, we just said before, we brought from this from Zoya that Mishkan, the Shem Ma, is like a Mishkan, we find both. The Mishkan had both Pnimi and Makif, the Irias and the Kelim. It means that the Mishkan of Shema. So the Mishkan, where we mark the Korbanos, that's the Gil of Shema. While Korban Gav Mizbeach and Mizbeach of Shemban. The Korban in the Mishkan Gufa, where we mark the Korbanos on the Mizbeach. So Mizbeach represents Shemban. The Mishkan Shema, Shonas and Kerech Laval. So he gave us this whole scheme how the bill is to Shema, which is Sovev Laban, and we see it in the Mishkan. There is the Mishkan itself, the areas, which is the Makif, but the Mizbeach, that's the Pnimi of Shema, and the Kelei Mishkan, that's the Pnimi of Shema. The Mizbeach, that's what is Shem Ban. Mizbeach Ban represents the Allah Milmata Lamayla. That is what the Korban being marked the Korban. Now he's going to explain it now. Vedas, maybe we'll understand it better. So now, all this was in the time of Samikdash. Now that we don't have Samikdash, what are the Korbanos being? Are we achieving these things without Korbanos? So we have Korbanos. Tefillah connected medium temple. The Tefillah is davening is instead of the Korbanos. The Indian not Tefillah, Korbanos Nefesh Habahamis. The davening, what happens in davening? Korbanos Nefesh Habahamis, like the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, davening is not only a time when we, as the Eibishter, should give us what we need. It's not only bakosh. Feel is a state of mind when the person, like it's that's the whole concept of feel, the way it's explained in Tanya. That the person is misbeinen in the godless Hashem. Mainly, he controls, the overpowers nefesh habamis, makiv nefesh habamis. That's what happens in davening. So the way that Aqrava happens is to chitzenius halev, which is the mizbeach. Notice in what part of your own soul do you experience this korban to tefillah? That's chitzenius halev, and that part of your emotion, the external part of the emotion. That's why in davening we daven, especially in Chakadazima and Birchas Krishma, we talk about to excite the heart, the chitzenius halev. Talk about Doas Hashem and Chakadazima, all the greatness of the Eibishter, and in Birchas Krishma we talk about how the Malach Malbato to the Eibishter. So all this excites the chitzenius halev. It should overpower the nefesh habamis.
Why is the ban?
What?
Why is the Mizbeach Shem ban?
Because Mizbeach is a place, in other words, everything's, let's say in the Mishkan, there is the part which is called the Gilui Elikus in the Kodesh HaKodashim, And the Mizbech is that place where you burn the behema, which means you elevate. Mizbech is a part of the Mishkan which deals with halom and matal. So that's Shem Ban. Shem Ban is the halom and matal. I think that's the reason Mizbech, Shem Ban. I mean, so that says, first of all, that's what it says, but I think that's the explanation. Kayadua Shemizbech. Now it says the cloud that two mizbeches in the Beis Hamikdash. We have two mizbeches. There is mizbech hapnim, mizbech hachitzon. Mizbech hapnim, which is in Chelek Kodesh. That is when we burn the ketores. Mizbech hachitzon, which is on the outside of the Mishkan. That is when we burn the korbanos. So one is called mizbech hachitzon, mizbech hapnim. So these two parts of the Mizbeach Gufa present two madrigas in the heart Gufa. There's the heart, the pneumius is the Ketores, which Ketores, again, he doesn't talk about Barichas here, but in other places, that Ketores, it says, the Gemara says, Reach, Dover Shan Shomen Nenis Nen of Loya Guf. Ketores is something that incense, it's something that affects sense of smell, which means it's a higher level of connection. So it's pnimis alev, it's the inner connection to likus. Bashenken korbanos, you take it's the burning of something more physical, lower level. So the two madrigas of pnimis alev, I mean, it's similar to mizbeach hapnim, represent two levels of connection.
So what Chesyon Taleb means what? I mean, what is in compared to premise Taleb? What's in practical sense? What's that mean?
Practical means the practical. There are two parts of the heart. There's the Chitzayon, means the external excitement of the heart, which is a result of these baininus, let's say, in the Avodah Samalachim, and the Avodah the Eibish's greatness, the way it's expressed through to this world. So that's the law madrega of connecting the Eibish. That only touches that's Chitzonius. Pnimius is a deeper level of connection, which is similar to Ketores. Just two levels of our law in Allah's man go for two levels of Mesiras Nefesh. I don't know if it's practical. Practical is too strong of a word. It's just two levels, two madrigas. There's a subtle difference between the way. Let's say, like I said, Mizbeach HaPnimi does not cover behemoths. There's no behemoths there. It's not Nefesh Abamis. You deal with it's with Nefesh Elikis. It's a higher level of avodah. Again, this time it's not marriage. Want to be okay? Maybe I'll look it up. Maybe second time we look, we're gonna get into more details into that.
So maybe like you can say that Chesyon Taleb is more less sincere. I would say something that doesn't touch your neshama.
Really?
I'm just asking. I'm thinking, suggesting.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to say that it means less sincere. I think it's much a more external type of connection. It's more like we see the Gashmis. Now in Bechis, he burned the behemoth. He deal with behemoths. He deal with something. Deal with your animal side. So it's a more involved type of deal. Mashenken Ketores, it's v'chatchilen. You're not in the world of Bahamius. In the world of Reya. It's in a place. It's not. It's a different. It's a much more subtle type of connection. You want to say that's more. I don't think the way you say it is right. I don't think so. But maybe you're right. So I have to look it up. Vichlal Mizbeach Ulev. So now
Elam Haze is Meir Haseviv. That's what it means. That in the Mizbeach are two things. Or the Mishkan. That's
no,
what
it's talking about the Mishkan. The Mishkan is the Haseviv. Not the Mizbeach is not the. It's talking about the. When you spoke about Elam Haze, Meir Haseviv means in the Mishkan, not the Mizbeach. Mizbeach is already the bill.
And beside the Mishkan, through the Mishkan, is there a savor in everything, Bo'elam Hazeh?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. In the Gilui of Savor in Mishkan.
And Tefillah is both things.
What?
Tefillah is savor and Memale?
Tefillah. Yeah, we must say so because it's just like in the Karbonis. Karbonis is it doesn't talk about this particular detail here. But
It's mentioned Penius 11, Pnimius 11.
Yeah, but both of them are in the same band. The both are really same band, which really is Memal, the But the Bio, the Avoida, there's the Chitzanis Halef Nizam, then there's the Avoida of Chitzanis Halef Nizam. So the Avoida, the Bio, that is the result of I think the constant from Savior. He doesn't say it, so I'm not going to guess what he's saying here. But now he's going to explain better why Mizbeach is lev. So now he's explaining it. He said the word practical before. Gives us elaborates why do we say that Mizbeach is lev? Why he says because it's serious havavir. Like I said, Tanya talks about what is davening. Davening means it's serious havavir, that you the person inspires himself to be in a state of Avavir to the Eivishter. So this is serious Avavir, that is the left. The Pasuk says, the Chazal say, Eiz Aved Shebelev Zet Tefillah. The Inyan Aved Shebelev, or any serious Avavir, but then you don't feel. So now he says that Lev and Tefillah are the same thing. Lev is Tefillah, because tefillah is the place where the heart, the heart is the emotion, and the basic two emotions that control everything are ava and ira. And the other emotions are like derivative of ava and ira. So the lev, the tefillah, like I said, the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya. Tefillah is the time when the person is ma'ir himself. He awakens within him that the feeling, the emotions of Yahweh and Yer to the Ebershter, that the lev, the Mele, so the Mele, the bill of Nefesh Abamis is to the fact that the person is in a state of Yahweh. So that he elevates Nefesh Abamis. The Nefesh Abamis is affected by the heart, which is naturally kiss, the left, the Avavir of naturally kiss affects Nefesh Abamis. The Elav is Nefesh Abamis. Masha Kovet, nice, another point. Masha Kovet, Tzorich Liyais, Davka Mishkan Migdosh. Now, again, so in the Korban, there were two parts, right? The Korban was in the Mizbeach, and the Mizbeach happened to be in the Mishkan Migdosh, like I said earlier. The Mishkan and Migdash are the Gilui Sefer, and that helps the bill and the Mizbeach. He said, we see that in our Avodah also. What is it? Just like our bonus. We have to be Makriv, in the Mishkan and Migdash. So we find a similar thing. And davening, that has to be the Beis HaKnesses. It's not the same like our bonus. Because our bonus, the market Korban outside, the Pashat's an Avera. You're not allowed to be to market Korban outside. And there's no Avera, I don't think there's no Avera to daven outside the Beis HaKnesses. But the ultimate, the proper way of davening is the Beis HaKnesses. It's a dafka. Yeah, the proper way of davening is dafka Beis HaKnesses. Beis HaKnesses Nika Migdosh. Beis HaKnesses is called Migdosh. Migdosh Ma'at Helbet HaKnesses Amat Migdosh. It's Shabbat. Beis HaKnesses, the shul, is the place which is like a mishkan, like the Gemara says that Migdash Ma'at is Beit HaKnesses, Beit Midoshes. Shamakiv, the Beis HaKnesses, so the makir of the shul helps in davening shall the bill of Shabbamis, because the shul has that Gilui Shema. Shlachein Amor Azal. It's a very strong lashon Chazal that the tefillah nishmas means when we achieve the proper the proper goal of tefillah, dafka b'beis hakneses. Another point, not only did they daven in shul, not just the shul, but it just said only Beis Hamedrash. They used to daven in the same place that they learned Torah. Why? He says, "Zel kamayim hazal mishachol Beis Hamikdash ein hakadosh baruch hu be'olam daven shel halacha." So we have two things. We have the shul as a mikdash ma'at, because the shul is a mikdash ma'at. So it's similar to the Beis Hamikdash. So it gives us the power to the davening our davening should affect the nefesh habahamis. Another point is that another gemara, ein hakadosh baruch hu be'olam daven shel halacha. The Torah also has the same quality. Torah is also Mishachar Beis Hamikdash. The Daled Amis of Halacha of Torah is similar to Beis Hamikdash. Mela, b'makom, it's a davening. B'makom the Gas, b'makom the Gas in the same space when they learn Torah gives us the same power. Not only that, the life dafka v'abil nefesh habahamis kim gam taking nefesh halikis. I don't know, he's talking about Torah, I think so. Yeah, now he's already talking about Torah. So the Torah, not only does the Torah give power to elevate the Nefesh habahamis, just like the Shem Mayim Beis Hamikdash gave the power to the Kavas Behema. Torah is even the Nefesh halikis is fixed, is affected, is repaired by the Koyach of Torah. Why? The Gamma Nefesh halikis.
What does that mean? Nefesh halikis? Why she needs a tikkun?
Okay, so he says the Gamma Nefesh halikis tzarich tikkun. Okay, I get you're right. So Bichlal, that we remember from Tanya it says, and the Shama Atzma ain't it tzarich tikkun. So Bichlal lashon in Tanya, the Shama Atzma ain't it tzarich tikkun. But I don't know, but it's explained in other places of cities. The neshama mitzad atzmataka doesn't need tikkun, but when the neshama descends into our world, so the world, the environment affects the neshama also. So it doesn't need tikkun. Another explanation is that the neshama tikkun means I don't know, because the neshama is like we said sometimes. Remember, the Maimon, they talk about what's higher, Torah or Neshama. So the two, in Medrash Chazal, we learned it in some in the past, that we find a steer. Sometimes it says Yisrael Kodma, sometimes it says Torah Kodma. So what is explained over there? That the Neshama, the way it reached, it's in the Olam Hazeh, is disconnected. It's not connected totally to Likus. It's tzricha tikkun. So the Torah helps the Nefesh halikis to connect. In other words, unrelated to Nefesh habahamis. So there's also that aspect. And then he has Keshoit Atzmach Tchila. He brings what he said earlier, Keshoit Atzmach Tchila, that before you're going to affect others, to be mashpi on others, you have to fix yourself first. Shame, just like we explained, we mentioned earlier, that in order to imavar nefesh habahamis, to the korban, first has to be kshet atzmcha, nefesh habahamis should be elevated. What did he say earlier? That before we bought the korban, we had to do tshuva, which means nefesh habahamis has to be the person himself. Nefesh habahamis has to be in a state of tshuva. Otherwise, it can't be mark of the korban, like it says in the Gemara. Like it says that one of the tnoim of a korban is shav midios. The Gemara says shav midios, maybe korban or shegos. Has to be tshuva. that means nefesh abamis. It's the same thing. K'may kain. ולשב צריך הקרוב נפש הבאמיס צריך להיות מתחיל כשאת עצמת נפש הליקיס, שזה הקרוב נפש הליקיס כמו שהסבר. So this aspect he will explain further. We have to be involved nefesh halikis before the nefesh halikis. Mevar means fix, like I said, fix the connection of nefesh halikis with the Eibishter before the nefesh halikis can be mild nefesh habamis. So
it is said only the neshama, the way that she is done here, not b'shorshom.
Sure, yeah, exactly. That's what the one in my mind there. But the pile, we dealing with the neshama down here, right? You're right. Okay. So that's what it says.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So how does it say that you fix the nefesh halikis?
How?
Does it say how?
He didn't say how. Yeah, no, he didn't yet say how. He says just that in davening, which is we learned it also. Davening, there are two parts of davening. Davening, first you fix nefesh halikis, nefesh. And it's pretty obvious that in the davening, the nefesh halikis reconnects with the Eibishter, and it also affects nefesh habamis. There are two parts to davening. Remember, there was a concept we learned which is called a nefesh. What was it called? That the expression. There's a avodas nefesh atzma. The nefesh halikis itself wants to break the boundaries of the nefesh habamis and wants to connect to the Eibishter, unrelated, not mevar the nefesh habamis. It doesn't come to nefesh habamis and elevates it and refines it. It itself in a state of avodah. So these are the really two parts of davening. So I think later is going to talk about it a little more developed more. But even in Tanya, you can see also both of the aspects. That the person's ma'ir within his nefesh halikis, the avos Hashem, and ava ve'ir within the nefesh halikis. That itself is a tikkun of nefesh halikis. Then the next step is to elevate nefesh habamis. It's not the next step. We see it both in our way of davening, but he's going to talk about it more further.
But nefesh halikis doesn't need tikkun, no? Or maybe you can say the connection, but doesn't need tikkun.
Okay, the lashon is nefesh halikis tikkun. I asked the question that says clearly in Tanya, nefesh shama ain't a tikkun. So I answered that and it's explained in my mind that the way the neshama is in our world, it needs tikkun because the environment affects the neshama. The neshama so that makes nefesh halikis also. In other words, when it says in Tanya neshama ain't a tikkun means that the nefesh halikis did not have to go down into this world for a tikkun, because neshama never it's in the perfect state. But when it comes down to this world, it's a tikkun. That's one shot. But then we can go in. Okay, that's a simple shot I mentioned. But then sometimes it says that even nefesh halikis, the way it's in, let's say in Gan Eden, also it's a tikkun, because there's a certain level of the ava yesh misha'ayim. There's a certain level of independence, even in the Shama Lamayla. The mashal, the mashal Chassidus brings, the Shama is like a child. When the child is born, it's the same, like say in physical terms, it's the same DNA of the parents. He has a unique and very strong connection to the parents, but at the same time, the lashon is in Chassidus elikus shenas aniva. Just like a child, he's stuck. When you look at his DNA, it's totally his parents. There's nothing else other than it's not shiny. He's an independent being. He has his own opinions, his own. So that's in a way, in a very subtle way, it's a mashal. The neshama is stuck but it's independent. It has its own mitzvahs. So that itself is already a certain state of disrepair, because it's not totally bottled alikus. The ultimate tikkun is it should be in total state of bittul. It shouldn't have any ego, shouldn't have any independence. That's a very subtle way. So I'm not sure when we can talk about when it says we can explain it both ways. Either it means, like I said originally, that the neshama is in this world, the environment affects it. So it needs a tikkun. It needs a reconnect. On a deeper level, the neshama itself also tzarich a tikkun. Okay, but that it's not so neged harishus. He says, what is the koyach, the nefesh halikis? That comes from Torah. To learning Torah. Torah is Torah. So that connects the neshama to the Eibishter. It says in Gemara that Ois the Toshir. Torah has two names. Ois, strength, and Toshir means also strength. So what's the difference? Ois, so that's a famous concept of Chassidus. Ois lenefesh halikis, v'toshir lenefesh havamis. It gives strength to nefesh halikis, and toshir means sometimes toshir means lashon tosh koiche. It means it weakens the nefesh havamis. So that's the power of Torah. That's what he said earlier. But in order to explain this, he goes into a new discussion, and eventually we'll get back to this concept. So this
is all just by davening and shul. I mean,
okay.
Davening in a place of Torah that helps the beard of the whatever.
Right. So two things: davening in shul, davening in a place of Torah. Okay, like I said earlier. So look, we can look at it in a very practical level. Like sometimes Chassidus says, the person davens in shul, the atmosphere. Chassidus actually brings it as a mashal of makif. When you daven in shul, shul is a holy atmosphere that affects your davening. Your davening is a more serious davening. Person davens not in shul. So the environment is not friendly in the sense of the davening, the concentration, connection to the Eibishter. The environment doesn't give him the power. The shul and also the place of Torah, sometimes to give it a very practical implication. Like again, it's out of Chassidus also, but in a more spiritual implication, spiritual meaning. The shul happens to be a holy place. Look, we constantly got to holy places to daven. Got to the oil to daven. We got to the kaisel to daven. What's the pshat? Because when you're in such an environment with a holy place, the etzem, it's be'etzem a holy place that affects your state of davening. Because in a holy place, it affects it. Again,
not davening. Is this also having this koyach? Not a shul, a beis hamedrash. Even in your own house, you learn Torah though.
It's a good question. Okay, yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah, okay, yeah. Again, it's not. I'm not. I'm just learning what it says. So I can say Savalas Lakan. On one hand, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you learn Torah in your house, it's better than the house you don't learn Torah. But in Tzad Sheni, this kind of dedication that, like, actually, they ever told us we should call our house Beis Chabad, but be'etzem, bepashtus, if a place is dedicated to Torah, there's the actual learning of Torah, davening. But then there's what kind of place is it? If there's a place that's dedicated to davening, or dedicated to learning, so there's a certain kedusha there that the house doesn't have. Even if a person sits and learns at home all day, his house is the place where he lives. So I mean, I'm sure that is learning as an effect, but it's not the same. It doesn't have a kedusha as beis hamedrash. There's a concept in Chazal, in Halacha, kedusha as beis hamedrash. There's a certain kedusha. That's why certain things are not allowed to do in shul and beis hamedrash. The Halacha, there's all shayach, you're allowed to eat even, or to sleep, or to do it. It's a holier place. So again, like I don't have the exact answer. I'm sure that when a person learns, even in the house, it has an effect on his davening more than the daven without learning. But the beis hamedrash, which especially is talking about say of makif, in other words, not direct effect, like the more say the bigger effect, the effect of the environment, that happens to be dafka in a place which is dedicated either by Saknetas or by Sametas. That's all right. We'll continue tomorrow, not tomorrow, Sunday, top of page Reish Hey.
Yeah, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.